Why do we need tests? As we all know, nowadays, students are quite bothered by all kinds of endless tests, exams, and competitions. As a 9th grader, I just suffered the preparation of the high school entrance test. We finished all the learning content about half a year ago, and we spent the remaining 6 months in doing all sorts of repetitive tests and exercises. Here's my daily life at school. First period, English test. Second period, math test. Third period, feedbacks on physics test. Fourth period, test again. We had 8 classes a day, and each class is filled with all kinds of tests. I used to take more than 10 tests a day, and my school bag was filled with homework papers and test prep books. Our school is just like a factory. Our teachers prepare and print the test papers, we process them, and our teachers correct the papers. Sometimes I wonder, was my school still school? I wished to escape from my school because I didn't want to become a test-taking machine. So I decided to apply for the early admission, which only requires the outstanding ability of math, physics, and excellent extracurricular records. I took classes, tried my best, but unfortunately, I failed. There were too many talented and hardworking students out there. Came back to school with a sad heart. I had no other option but fight for my future. I allowed myself buried in test papers for another 2 months. Now the tests are over, I could finally breathe. We could pile up tons of criticism to test-driven education. Some people even call it test-taking culture. We live in a tense space that is filled with test papers. Why can't we get rid of them? One of my teachers outside of school taught me to look at everything critically. So, as much as I dislike tests, let's see what positive things tests can achieve. Firstly, tests can help with memorizing learning content. Education research shows that one of the best ways to remember what you learn is by taking repetitive tests. Secondly, tests is a way to refine our willpower. If we want to achieve our goals, we have to put in persistent efforts. Passing the high school entrance test will be a big challenge if we are determined that we will not be able to accomplish our goals. Thirdly, standard test is a way to realize education quality. It provides an overall fair way for students to compete, no matter what kind of family backgrounds they have. The above facts shook my belief of getting rid of tests for good. After all, we can't abolish tests just because it has flaws. We need to think about what we can do to improve it. Firstly, test prep should not take over learning processes. Tests are tests. They're not good learning processes. Knowledge can be memorized and taught in amusing and easy-taking ways. Interest is the best teacher. If you're interested in what you're learning, then getting the grades should not be very difficult. Secondly, tests should be repeated at scientific intervals. Excessive tests do no good but only harm to the learners. Our brain works in a way that requires blank space and time to digest the learning content brought to them. If you fill the working memory with learning content, then your brain will be trapped in traffic jams. Thirdly, tests shouldn't be the only standard to judge a student. Some of the highly talented students may get very low scores on a test. It is true that some of the students have talents in some ways, but don't perform well in certain subjects. It is also true that some students just accidentally underperformed, maybe because of falling ill, running late, or just made a huge mistake that ruined the whole test. Without a doubt, tests will always play a part in our lives, no matter what. So instead of complaining and do nothing about it, we should try to face the difficulties and learn to take the pressure. At the same time, tell ourselves that tests aren't everything. It is only a part of our life and future. Nothing's going to stop you from becoming a successful and wonderful person in the future. Thank you.